the one big question that everyone's asking for the Suns after the NBA Finals is Chris Paul going to re-sign with the Suns, and if so, for how many years? How much money are they going to offer him? Because there's talk about the Suns, or I mean, the Chris Paul wanting a 4-year contract max, like 4 years for 100 million or something like that. And I'm just like, damn, that's a lot of money for a 36-year-old who's gonna be 40 when that contract ends up, who's known for being injured, who's known for running out of legs. Like as the further you get into the playoffs, even this year his shoulder got hurt against the Lakers. Luckily, it wasn't too serious. And then his hand was hurt too in the finals. I think that's why people were saying that he wasn't playing his best. He was fighting through a hand injury. So like that's tough. That's tough. He has 1 year he's 1 year left on his contract that he could opt out to get more years, more guaranteed money, which I think he will. If he stays with the Suns, I don't think he just plays out this 1 year. He's gonna opt out and he's gonna re-sign for 3 years minimum. If they give him that 4th year, then the Suns, they're pretty wild, but everyone's giving Chris Paul all the credit, being the leader. He taught them how to win. Sometimes it's a little bit of hyperbole. Sometimes, we got to give Monty Williams some of that credit, and just the players and the drafting that the Suns have been doing in the last few years. It was just a perfect storm. I don't think it was just all Chris Paul coming in and just showing them the way. I think this team was already, in an upward trajectory. So, but with that being said, Chris Paul was crucial to this team, and if they want any chance of making the finals next year, they do need to keep Chris Paul. But at what cost? Is he worth 3-4 years? How many more good elite years does he have? 2, 3? I think he has around 2 really, really good years. That 3rd year, he could still be like a top 10, top 12 point guard. That 4th year, just by he's not the biggest guy. He's not like the strongest guy. He's known for getting hurt. That 4th year will really scare me if I'm the Suns. And, I don't really want to tie so much money to an older player when my team is so young, when there's a lot of moves I can make. I could catch another free agent. I really believe in Monty Williams. If you're the Suns, upper management, if you're the GM and you really believe in Monty Williams, I think there is a possibility where Chris Paul is not with the Suns next year. Even though they built a great relationship in this 1 year that they were together, I think there's a high possibility that he does not come back. And I wouldn't blame the Suns. I wouldn't blame Chris Paul. Chris Paul has to, look out for what's his best interest at age 36 as a legend of the game, as an all-time great. He needs to go somewhere where he can cement his career, get that chip that will really take him over the top when we look back and talk about his career. And the Suns, they have a project. They can't just be thinking 2-3 years ahead. They got to think 5, 6, 7 years ahead. They got to position themselves to be one of those teams that are there year in and year out. So it's a tough decision. If you're a Suns fan, if you're an NBA fan, I really want to hear your opinion. Tweet at me, or if you're on YouTube, reply. But what do you guys think? It's a tough decision. I think either way you go, you can't really blame the Suns. You can't really blame Chris Paul. But if he was to leave, people are putting him with the Lakers. I think as far as a Laker fan, as an NBA fan, I think that would work. That would work. As a Laker fan, I could say that he brings some shooting, he brings some leadership, but he is kind of old, so making the team older, I don't know how I feel about that. And also, he would have to take a big, big pay cut to go play with LeBron, to go play with AD. And I mean, Chris Paul, man, I know he wants the ring, but the ring if he goes to the Lakers, the ring he's gonna get with the Lakers is not gonna mean too much, because it would be, he would be playing third fiddle, and he'll be like not as close. He's not a comparable third fiddle. He's clearly the third best player on that team. They're not almost all at the same level. It's not like Harden and Kyrie and KD, where KD is the best one, Harden's second, Kyrie's third, but Kyrie's still like, he can still do his thing, he can still hold his weight. It's LeBron, AD, and then I think like another season from now, like next year, there's the gap between AD and Chris Paul is going to be bigger. So how much is he really going to get his flowers? Are people going to give Chris Paul the credit he desires, he needs, he wants for his legacy? Maybe not. that ring won't mean as much. It might not matter to Chris Paul. It might just be like, hey, I got a ring. That's all I care. I want to be able to feel the trophy. I want to be able to hoist it up. But to play with the Lakers, he's going to have to take around a big pay cut. I think the most they could offer him is like $9 million, which is pennies compared to what the Suns or like his current contract is. So, it's tough because what other team could he go to and be a legit contender? The Bucks already have Drew Holiday. The Nets, they already have Kyrie, Harden. He might be able to go to the Sixers. The Sixers could use him. That's another one that you could potentially see making a run and Chris Paul getting his ring. He'll get more credit with the Sixers. He'll definitely be a more influential player with the Sixers than he would be with the Lakers. There's other teams out there too that could potentially use him. Maybe the Heat or the Clippers, that make a reunion with the Clippers. There's a lot of different ways that Chris Paul could go about it. If I was a betting man, I think my bet would be that the Suns just suck it up. They acknowledge that, a lot of the success they had this year, which was the furthest they've gone in like 12, 15 years, is credited to Chris Paul. And they just, bite the bullet and give him a 3-4 year extension. And he stays with the Suns next year. And if we have to predict these next 3-4 years, then I feel like Chris Paul just falls short with the Suns and he never gets his ring. And he walks away from the NBA as decorated, as an all-time great, but he walks away, as a label, competing with Charles Barkley as one of the greatest players to ever play without winning a ring. That's my prediction. I think the Suns and Chris Paul end up working out a deal where he re-signs with them. He gets his money. He gets to stay with the Suns. He gets to stay with Monty Williams and Devin Booker. But ultimately, looking down the road, looking at the crystal ball, I think that just, closes the door on Chris Paul ever winning a championship. And I don't know. What do you guys think? Is that too harsh? Can the Suns actually, run it back and get to the finals? I think they're a good team, but man, I'm looking at the Warriors with Klay Thompson coming back. The Lakers are going to be good. Like the Nuggets, they still are very young. They could keep growing. The Nets are going to be, back next year. The Bucks are going to be back next year. Like the NBA it's tough to win. So I just don't see the Suns repeating, getting to the finals. So that's in my humble opinion, that's my prediction for Chris Paul. He resigns for 3-4 years with Phoenix and he plays it out and he never wins a championship, and that's that. But let me know what you guys think down below. Let me know if anything else is going to happen in you guys' opinion.